Hello, this is Anthony Arroyo from the AbletonCookbook.com, and today we're going to continue talking about how to make a synthesizer using just the simpler. And last time we talked about how to use any field recording in order to make a simple oscillator, and we did that by basically using a field recording of a stream and reducing the time until it was super short, and then it yielded a very simple synthesizer that you can hear there. That sounds nothing like the field recording, but is going to form the raw material for a little bit more complicated synthesizer sound. And right now we're just going to flesh this out a little bit by making this a dual oscillator synthesizer, because usually a synthesizer will have more than one oscillator. So I'm going to show you how we do that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this simpler that we worked on last time. Hopefully you guys saved it. And I'm going to put this in a group. So I'm going to right click or control click this and click group. And then you should see a chain selector right here. It looks like, I don't know what it looks like, a little stack of horizontal lines, something like that. And I'm going to rename this, just call this Synth1. Okay? And you'll see by what's cool about this is that this chain selector actually it shows the path that the MIDI note takes from from whatever input it comes in from into this chain and then into this oscillator. But what's cool is you can actually have parallel ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do control right click or whatever, control click or right click, press create chain, and then I'm going to rename this oscillator 2. Okay, so you can see that when you change which chain is selected, it's gonna what is here is gonna change, right? Because in the first one we have an oscillator. The second one, since it's new, we have nothing in it. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I did before, where I'm going to make an oscillator out of basically just isolating a really small part of the signal. I'm gonna do it pretty fast because I talked about how to do it last post, and if you want the step-by-step instruction, you can go back to the last post and see. I'm going to do it kind of fast just for the sake of demonstration here, okay? So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to just solo this second oscillator because I don't want to hear the first oscillator right now. I'm going to just press solo here, and then I'm going to, whoa, and this field recording is actually from a, what was it called? The Mini Space Rockers, which was a project that we worked on for the Handmade Music Day here in Austin. So it's actually, these are just field recordings of little basic sort of circuit bent instruments. It was really fun. So I'm going to make this shorter. So that sounds pretty cool, and that sounds like at least like something like an actual oscillator that we'd want, right? And now I'm gonna do the same thing that I did last time, where I'm going to tune it. But in this case, I don't need to tune it to an outside note because this original oscillator should be tuned already. So I'm just gonna make sure this is a second time. So I can tune them together, and you're going to hear there's still some beating, right? So they're not going to play too nicely right now. And what's cool is that once you have these two oscillators side by side, then you can mess with the, and actually you can see that I've pitched this one up, because before it was -12, which is a little bit too much. So I just remember that when you're actually doing the transpose, as long as you're moving in octaves, meaning in I guess divisions of 12, you'll be okay. So I can move from -12 I guess it was -2 originally. Move from -2. If I move from -2 up until +10, it's going to sound okay. It's when I start moving in increments of less or more than 12 that I get in trouble. So now I have 2 oscillators here, but I can mess with this slider here and I can change the ratio of these 2 oscillators to one another. And remember that also for all of these I can do different. I can mess with the attack and stuff like that here. And each oscillator can have its own attack and decay. And so that's going to really help you out make more complicated sounding sounds, because you can see here if I privilege or if I give more volume to the new oscillator, which is a little bit rougher, it's going to be a totally different sound than if I turn it down and let the first oscillator take over. So anyway, so you can mess around with that, and there's really no limit. So you can have as many oscillators as you want here. Just remember that when you're messing with the tuning, move in increments of 12, and then you'll be okay. All right, because if you do, once you get the tuning right and you move in smaller transposition increments, you're going to have it be sound a little bit rougher. It's going to go out of tune. And sometimes messing with the detune is going to be cool, but you don't want it to be like a half step out, because that might sound a little bit too cacophonous. Okay, so hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, make sure to leave me a comment, and I will talk to you later. Bye.